Hey, Brooke. Thanks again for joining me today. To kick us off, can you speak for like maybe a minute about who you are and the company that you're working on?
For sure. Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm the founder and CEO of AvidAI, which is formerly Gift Pocket. And we are making this complicated things about marketing simple through AI generated pop-ups and promotional gift cards. So we're taking the guesswork of how brands can acquire their customers. And we're first starting with Shopify brands, and we're launching in September.
Awesome. And then you participated in Techstars Boulder in 2022. Is that correct?
Correct. I went through the Techstars Boulder fintech program in July to October of 2022.
Cool. And kind of curious to hear first, just like why you wanted to participate in Techstars in the first place.
I think the answer most founders will say is they probably just applied like I did myself. Like I just applied to Techstars, 5C, all those programs. And I think there's always that thing, like you need to do an accelerator program to really transform your company, but you don't know what that means until you go through it. And so I knew I needed that validation that we were building something really unique and different, but also that confidence as a first-time founder. And so I was looking for accelerator programs that would help me learn how to build a company as a first-time founder. And Techstars was one of the accelerators that I pursued, and I'm so glad that I was able to get in and be a part of it.
Cool. And I know Techstars has like different programs around the world. Did you also consider like other cities, their Techstar programs, or were you just looking at Techstars Boulder?
Because we are building a company within the gift card space, we are a fintech platform, and we face a ton of fraud. And so we're definitely looking to be validated as a fintech company was definitely why we looked into the fintech program. I'm also in Boston, so Boston, New York City, but Boulder is the flagship program. So I think the nostalgia that is there is super unique. And so it was nice going in that program, but I definitely think you can get value out of other programs as well.
Cool. And then I imagine like after you got accepted into Techstars Boulder, it sort of became like it became an option, right? It's like you could decide whether you actually want to go to that program or you didn't want to go. Like what factors, I guess, did you consider before you actually ended up saying yes to Techstars Boulder?
Yes, no, that's a great question. To give up 6% equity of your company is definitely something that every founder should not give up lightly and really consider it. I think one of the main things that you should consider before doing Techstars or any accelerator program is the managing director is a key person in that decision process. And we were very fortunate that the managing director had worked for a ton of retail companies. She worked for Trove, which was acquired by, or the Trunk Club that was acquired by Nordstrom's. And so her background and her expertise and the network that she promised to us, I think were really one of the main reasons. But ultimately, I think it's a gut thing. You that moment when you get into Techstars, your gut will tell you what feels right. And so I think the balance of what the managing director is pitching to you and versus what you believe is right, I think is what will guide your decision process.
That's awesome. It just seems like the managing director's background really aligned with what you're doing. So probably was a pretty easy choice for you guys. Kind of curious to hear more about just the interview process leading up to that acceptance. What are maybe some types of questions that you were asked during the interview process about your company or about your team?
So I'll be honest with you, it's been over a year, but I think one of the things that Techstars really is all about is the team. Like obviously they have to believe somewhat in the industry that you're building within and the products that you could be building. But if they don't believe in your team, then they're never going to have you be a part of their cohort. So definitely they push you on the team questions, and then they kind of dig into the TAM and revenue and all that stuff.
Cool. And we were talking a little bit before we started recording about how Techstars helped your company evolve. Can you talk more about like how that actually happened in practice? You mentioned you applied. It was under Gift Pocket, and then you're transitioning to this new company, AvidAI. Yeah, how did that change happen? What advice did you receive? Tell us more about that.
Yes, no, that's a great question. So we're still, I'll give you this. So we're Gift Pocket Inc., but now DBA, AvidAI. And so I think one of the most important things as a founder you should constantly be thinking about is 0 to 1. How can you get to product market fit and how can you reach profitability? And I think we realized that we were solving an awesome problem. Brands were finding tons of success acquiring customers with gift cards, but we weren't going to reach product market fit with the solution that we were building, and we weren't going to reach profitability. And so we were like, we're solving a really good problem, but how can we do it in a more scalable way that actually can reach profitability and find product market fit? And so we confirmed the problem was right, but we figured out the solution wasn't right. And so Techstars really helped us probably figure that problem out in 13 weeks versus we probably would have been 12 months figuring that out. And so they always say Techstars is 13 weeks condensed into 2 years. So we learned so much about ourselves building a company and what we did and didn't do right in 13 weeks. A lot of no sleep, but it was definitely worth it.
Cool. Can you tell more about like that? You mentioned like weren't going to find product market fit, weren't going to reach profitability. Like, was there an exercise that you did during the Techstars program? Was it someone saying something about your company or giving you feedback about your company? Was it like external or like factors related to your company? Like maybe customer demand wasn't as strong as you needed to be, or maybe like you were having a hard time fundraising with that idea. What I guess like was the driving factor that actually like caused you like in your brain to like switch? We need to switch to a different solution.
So there's a couple different factors. One thing that I think is really helpful about Techstars is you have 3 goals throughout the program that you're working towards. And so one of our goals was, so to give you context on Gift Pocket was an app that was connecting brands to their gift card holders. And so what we were also doing is we launched a partnership in Massachusetts on 6 different college campuses where we gave out free $5 gift cards to 20,000 college students. And in order to get that gift card, they had to download the app. And so we realized it was a huge success. The people that downloaded the app got the gift card, their overspend potential was huge. But to get that gift card onto the app, there was this huge friction point. And so we needed to get it done faster. And so during the 13 weeks, we tested it out with ASOS, Boohoo, Nasty Gal, and Chipotle. So we did it. We went live. We tested the product. And on top of that, after Techstars, unfortunately, we got thrown into a horrible VC market. Brands' budgets got slashed. And so what we were trying to think about, how can we lower that barrier to entry for brands? So I think timing of the market was also another indicator, and just launching and talking to our customers was ultimately, we learned the most from talking to our customers as well.
Cool. And then I remember just seeing that like your demo day was on the Stonks platform. I was kind of curious, like what else happens on demo day?
Yeah, Stonks was great. We had the most amount of VC interest. I think the thing that we struggled with is we weren't building a reoccurring revenue model. And so since Techstars, we've pivoted to a subscription-based reoccurring revenue model, and to just make our model make a lot more sense. But we definitely see the demand for building a new acquisition tool that will help brands stand out. And we saw that confirmation on the VC side as well.
Cool. It seemed like the Techstars program was like very helpful in your company and getting it from like point A to point B. Kind of curious if you could speak generally about like what do you think is like the most valuable aspect of the Techstars program?
I think the most valuable aspect of Techstars is on the first day, you're probably walking in there and you're thinking they're going to like destroy your product or tell you what needs to change about it. And the first thing they ask you is they're like, how do you really, really feel? And they ask you all those questions to really talk about how to build a team, how to build a culture, and how to be a leader. And I think that's what really sets Techstars apart from any other accelerator program, because at the end of the day, you can solve a problem, but if you aren't building a company, building a culture that people want to be a part of, you're not going to build a successful company. And I think that's what really sets Techstars apart, is they help you build awesome products, but they also help you build an awesome company.
Cool. And then what advice would you give to someone applying to Techstars?
So I'll be honest with you, I got very, very fortunate that I applied to Techstars and my application got read and that I got in. Every other company in my cohort had a referral. to the MD or to the program manager or to the VC on staff. So if you can get a referral, that will go so much further than just applying. So you need to apply, obviously, but if you can get a referral, that will just incredibly boost your chances.
Makes sense. And you alluded to the managing director's background as a big factor as to like why you were interested in this program. Can you talk about some of the other people on the Techstars team or the mentors they set you up with, and maybe how they were helpful to you during the program?
Yeah, so I would definitely say like the cool thing about Techstars is the give first mindset. So no matter what, even if their background isn't helpful, they'll always try to connect you and help you. But the cool thing about Techstars is there is this thing called Mentor Madness, which is the second week of Techstars, where for 5 days straight, you meet with 60 people that will eventually be narrowed down to 5 people who are your mentors. And so they have a vast network. They will find you the right mentor. It is the craziest week because imagine 60 people giving you honest, real feedback about your business. They will definitely find people in your network, but obviously the managing director is the key indicator. But also, the older the program is, the more network, the bigger the network it is, the more mentors there are. So I would suggest that an older program just has an advantage to a newer program.
Cool. And now that you're finished with the program, how do you stay engaged with the Techstars community?
Yeah, so my cohort, we still meet on a monthly basis. And then obviously the companies that have more overlap in the like industries that they're working in, they would probably stay a lot more connected, talking more. I know the CTOs of my cohort, they do like quarterly check-ins. Obviously, the sad thing is we're all building businesses, but we're like probably one of the most busiest people you'll find. But I think if you really connect with someone, you'll definitely continue to make effort. Like I text one of my friends in Techstars like every other day. So it just depends.
Nice. And is there anything I didn't ask about that you think is important for someone considering Techstars to know?
I think one thing is maybe like the fact that it's a hybrid program. I know that there's like some programs are all in person or some are like all virtual or hybrid. I think hybrid is the best because you get that in-person feel of building that relationship with the cohort, but it is not realistic for 13 weeks to be building your company somewhere else and then getting thrown back into real life, because the 3 weeks that I was in Boulder, I was like heads down, didn't talk to my family, didn't talk to my friends, and I was just working from like 7 a.m. to midnight every single night. And so I think it's good that you go into the office, build those relationships, but then you can also learn how to build your business at home. So I'm a big believer in a hybrid program because I just don't think it's super scale. Like it's not realistic for, I would say, 80% of businesses to go 13 weeks there and then get thrown back into real life.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, that was super helpful. Thanks, Brooke, for joining me today.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry for hopefully you can hear me. I'm so sorry for the background. I lost track of time.
No, you're good.